Hello, my friends. So I wanted to give you my review on somatic experiencing, and I'm going to base this review on my last session that I had with someone. So I'm getting trained as a somatic experiencing practitioner, and part of our training, we have to get a certain amount of hours having someone else give us a somatic experiencing session, which is really cool because if you're going to help people you need to know what it's like, what it does. At least I think so. I feel like if you don't know what's going on inside of the person, how are you going to help them? So I love the fact that they have us having to get our own sessions. Anyway, so just to kind of give a little bit of background as far as what a somatic experiencing session is like. So you think of when you go for coaching, a typical coaching session is really about understanding where you are now, where you want to be, and what's kind of getting in the way of helping you to get there. So obviously there's a measure of story that's going to come up. Now, if you've been through trauma, there is a piece of what is known as the protective self. The protective self is the piece or the person you had to become because of the trauma. It's not your authentic self. Well, that protective self is not very fond of looking at the wounds inside. That protective self prefers to stay stuck in story. He did this, she did this happened, then they said this, da, 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 da. Your protective self loves to do that. Now, the problem with trauma is that by looking at what the wounder did and not the wound stays here. You're not looking at it. You're looking out there. You're looking at the other person. And so with somatic experiencing, what I love about somatic experiencing is that as the person is telling their story, you invite the nervous system online through the use of questions and helping your client to look within in a way that's safe, right? There are certain things that you do to allow them to look at it and yet not overtax or flood their system. You are working on the wound. You are working on the survival energy that's stuck in the body because of the trauma. Okay, so that's what's taking place. So in my last session, the practitioner asked me, to talk about something that I felt was still maybe a piece of the struggle with being able to completely have the trauma in the past. And now I consider myself to be 90% through, 88, 88% through the trauma. But there is still like this one piece of the puzzle. And I really feel like it's the last piece of my personal healing journey puzzle. So I started talking about it and something in my eye, I apologize. I started talking about it, and what I wanted to share was I was amazed at how much my body was in that session. So when we're talking and we're in story, we're up here. Oops. We are up here from the neck up. We are in our head. We are in our thoughts. When we're doing a somatic experiencing session, the body, you're very much in your body. And it is amazing how your body responds, how your body kind of lets you know what's going on. Okay. So as we're doing that, she guides me to see it in your mind. Because what you want to do in a somatic experiencing session is you want to find a way, in a safe container, to help your nervous system to feel some of what's stuck there, but to find what was stuck, what didn't get to take place, and allow your body to do something that allows you to discharge some of that survival energy. So we're going through that, and she's at one point she's like, okay, so what are you feeling? And I'm at the point where I'm really visualizing like the hardest piece of what happened. And I could feel my body like doing these I could feel things going on in my body. But suddenly I felt this wave of peace, like so intense. So I tell her, I'm like, well, I feel peace. Now she's watching me because we're on Zoom and she can see that my eyes are closed, my jaw's tense. And what was crazy was I couldn't move my arms, but I'm telling her I feel peace. But it didn't register yet that I couldn't move my arms, but she could see. She knew what was going on. So she's just like, okay, so where are you noticing the peace? I tell her my legs. So she goes, what's going on in the rest of your body? And that's when it hit me. And I was like, I'm frozen. I can't move my arms. So we did a few exercises to help my body to release that um, stored, stuck survival energy. I felt amazing afterwards. But as we were talking about it afterwards, what she helped me to understand, and it's exactly in alignment with what we're learning this year in the somatic experiencing training, is how the nervous system will couple or uncouple things. So my nervous system uncoupled something. I was feeling something. There was definitely an emotion coming up in my body. She could see it, I could see it, but suddenly the peace kicked on. So somewhere in the past, I was not allowed to feel something. And so your nervous system's like, oh, you're not allowed to feel that. Let's feel peace. The problem with that uncoupling is until I allow myself, I think it was here, until I allow myself to feel whatever is really there that got stifled down, it's still going to be showing up in my life. And that's the piece that I still see in my life. I'm like, okay, there's still something there. So that's uncoupling, right? So in a somatic experiencing session, you start seeing what your nervous system did to help you, but that's actually causing you now to stay stuck. The other thing is it shows what is coupled together. And so in my case, um, there are certain places, certain people, certain circumstances that when I'm around that environment, my nervous system is like danger. Now, there's nothing really dangerous about this, but my nervous system's like, oh no, that's coupled with danger because every time you were there, something really horrible happened. So in the somatic experiencing, we start separating things that are coupled together that shouldn't be. And at one point, the practitioner says to me, she goes, you do see that that's from the past. That's a past survival energy and that you are safe now. Can you see that? And I literally could feel my body kind of moving left and right, which is when your brain is trying to use both sides of the brain to get it. And I had to tell her, I was like, logically, yes, my body's confused. I was like, I can't seem to, my body's like, doesn't get it yet. And she could tell. She's like, yeah, I could see that. You look confused. Now, again, logically, I wasn't confused, but the body takes longer to come on board to learn. So the benefit of the somatic experiencing is that you start helping your body to learn it. Now, I know that can sound silly because you do know, you know logically all the information. You don't have to learn anything, but you're teaching your body how to learn it all the way down to the cellular level. And that's what somatic experiencing is about. I'm so glad that I joined the certification course. It's been phenomenal. It's taken my coaching sessions for those that are interested in also adding, because some people aren't. Some people aren't ready to go there and invite the body on board, which is fine. I have a lot of clients that are like, okay, Michelle, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And I totally honor and respect that. But for those that are willing to bring their nervous system on board, that's what we do. And it's taken my coaching sessions with people to the next level, which is really, really amazing. So anyone that's healing trauma, we can't heal trauma with logic. We can't heal trauma with videos. We have to do something. We have to do things somatically. And yeah, somatic experiencing combined with coaching is absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't tried it, I invite you to try it.